Keep it 100.
What's up everyone, welcome to the first Books for Bucks video where I review, not summarize, some of the best books on money and investing. The special thing about this is that you'll get no spoilers about the book. It's just simply a review from my side and you have to make up your mind whether you want to buy it or not. Books for Bucks videos will be split into 4 parts. The first part is the author. You need to know if they know what the hell they're talking about. We'll review properly what the author is, his life story, her life story, whatever they've done. We'll find out, and then based on that, we'll see if the book is good or not. Because you don't want a crappy author. Number 2 is what is the book about? The key topics that the book will cover, key things that you will learn out of the book, those kind of things. Third is who should read it. What demographic, age, gender, is there anything like that? We'll discover that. And number 4 finally is my own rating out of 10 based on what I think of the book and what an average person can get out of it. And make sure you stick till the end, where I will link you to a video that I have done in the past where concepts from The Richest Man in Babylon I have covered in that video. So if you don't want to read this book by chance, you could go back to that video and then you could learn some of the things from there. Let's get started. Firstly, the author of The Richest Man in Babylon is George Clason, whatever. George, we'll call him George. George gained his financial wisdom through his own entrepreneurial endeavors. He was born in Louisiana in 1874 and he attended the University of Nebraska, and he was a soldier in the Spanish-American War. So as the economy is booming in the Americas in the 1920s, the mass production of cars started to happen, which meant more demand for highways and roads. And then George started his endeavor, which was a map company which produced roads and atlases for the United States. It wasn't that big of a success, but it was enough to get him a lot of experience, and then he entered into the writing thing. And then he wrote The Richest Man in Babylon. It was a huge hit. It was about his friends Bansir and Kobe. It was just a reflection on how much money they had made in their lives and how they had made it. One of the main things you'll learn in The Richest Man of Babylon is the 5 rules of gold and 7 cures for a lean purse. It's amazing. Considering it was way back in the 1920s, this book is still relevant today. And after The Richest Man in Babylon, he has rewritten it several times and titled it in different ways, which were The Gold Ahead, Out of the Ruins of Babylon, 7 Remedies for a Lean Purse, and 7 Keys to a Full Purse. As you see, all about bucks, man. It's books for bucks out here. At that time, people were regarding it as to the greatest book of all kind for financial planning. All the very successful people were saying that. So George himself applied the lessons from The Richest Man in Babylon to his business. He passed away in 1957 and his legacy still remains. I mean, it's great. This is what I talk about, legacy, man. What's the point of achieving goals? It's because you have a legacy. Your name will be known for generations. Anyways, that's a whole different topic. Let's go on to the second part, which is what topics can you expect in this book and what can you learn out of it. So the book itself is about Babylon, which is the capital of the Babylonian Empire, and it used to be around the present day area of Baghdad in Iraq. And in that book, it is many times talked about how Babylon used to be one of the first places where credit came, where loans came, where proper, like, whatever modern day finance is, it started appearing in Babylon at that time. So it's a lot about how they used to do it and how the same principles of then apply here in the 21st century. Other than that, the book, as I said, it teaches you about the 5 rules of gold and the 7 ways to get a lean purse. And it's the very basics of financial education. Like, if you want to just learn about this is the perfect place to start. And the main thing, it talks about the mindset you need to have in order to achieve financial freedom. If financial freedom was a 5-step process, everyone would be rich. It's just facts. Everyone would be rich if it was like, how can I create a good art piece? Okay, I have to follow XYZ steps. Cool, I've got a good art piece. But with money, finance, as they talk about in the book, it's like 80% mindset and 20% like actual knowledge that you need to have. Mindset, discipline, determination, persistence, these are traits you need to have to be financially free. Other things the book talks about is the ways you can use that discipline and how and where you can use that discipline in order to get financial freedom. All right, third part, who should read it? In my opinion, anyone who wants to be financially free should read it. Financial freedom is defined as when your passive income is more than your expenses. Basically, you can survive without working anywhere. So that is financial freedom in simple terms. And if you're 12 years old and above, which I know for a fact everyone is, you have to read it. Everyone has to read this book. Even if you don't want to be financially free, it is critical that you know what knowledge is being given in this book. No matter how much people say money is not important for me, it is important. How much are you going to deny that? It is important, and it is always a good idea to educate yourself in places that are necessary. This stuff isn't taught in school, and there is no incentive for schools to teach all this. Otherwise, people won't go to schools. Simple. So it's your responsibility to read these kind of books. I'd give this book a solid 8 out of 10. Why did I remove the 2? The book itself is not that big. It is quite small. It doesn't give you the exact details of what you can do. Another point goes for the kind of difficulty in reading that book. That book is quite old, so the language is like Thai. They're using Thai. I don't remember. I read quite a while back, but they're using some ancient English in there. So you have to be prepared and reading one page several times just to make sense of it. So that's the 2 point. Where the 8 come from, it is a quick read. It is a negative and a positive. It's a quick read, very basic to understand. Anyone can understand it. It's just a beautiful start to financial education. It was maybe the second book that I read on financial education, financial literacy. Yeah, it's a solid foundation for anything that you want to do in that arena in the future, which everyone has to do at some point. No matter what profession you're going into, you're gonna make money, and you need to know what you have to do with that money. There's a great quote: it's one thing to make a lot of money, and it's another thing to keep that money. It's much easier to make money than to keep it, because if what happens when you get a lot of money, you have the natural tendency to spend it on stupid stuff, which is something that this book tells you not to do. I hope you like this one, and as promised in the start, I'm linking this video up here. So go watch that. If you don't want to buy the book and read it for yourself, you could go watch that. And if you like this one, leave a like and tell me which book you want me to cover next. It's money and investing. I'm keeping it simple. Mindset, I've talked about way too much. This is just me reviewing books on what I learned out of it, and I'm down to do more of this. So let me know what you think, and take care.